Today we're looking at a Supra C realtor lockbox. I'll just show you this one opening. These were used apparently by real estate agents to secure keys on site, and then the agents themselves could just have copies of these title keys with them and thereby gain access to the keys to the house. I've actually got another one of these branded a Multac that I haven't had the keys for. The keys themselves are quite rare. Just recently acquired this one and thought we'd have a look at it. The key here says lease number 0005. I've got another key which I think is 0004, so obviously there'd be consecutive numbers for the particular lease number. This key is leased subject to recall, and then a patent number. On the other side it says title code 6973, which is common with what's actually written on the front of the box. Supra Products Inc. something Salem, Oregon. As you can see, the outside of the key is fairly featureless except for a nub for tensioning, also for orienting and key retention. On the inside of the key is where the actual bitting is. There are 6 pins, or I think they actually may be wafers. And once again, with most tubular locks, the problem is going to be tensioning here. I was playing around with all sorts of weird and wonderful ways of tensioning and found that if I just drop a tension wrench in here, eventually it catches on something and then I can go with that. Alright, I'm going to be using a 1mm wide, if I can pick the bastard up, titanium pin for this, mainly because it fits in between the tension wrench and will still allows me to access the pins with this tension wrench in the way. Picking around the camera, I'm going to be a little bit awkward here, but that's where the tension is happy to be, so let's go with that. I'm going to call this number 1 at the top right above 12 o'clock, in literally the 1 o'clock position, and go around the clock face clockwise from 1 to 6. A little bit of click out of 3, 4's loose, 5's loose. These are clearly standard pins. There's never any counter rotation or any serrations or anything like that, but as a result, pins can need setting time and time again. It's not just a matter of click that one set, click that one set. It really is a matter of just going round and round in circles. Occasionally you'll hit one and get a nice movement or a nice set from it, but otherwise this one's springy, that one's springy. It feels like you're going nowhere, and suddenly you'll hit a pin that does go somewhere. Like that. That was number 5, got a bit of movement. 6 is loose. 1's fine, 2, fine, 3, 4. Binding, and there we go. Now that's turned, I don't know, 60 odd degrees. That's not open yet, so we're going to have to continue. Make sure my tension is binding. Start with 1 again. 2. And that move my tensioner. Alright, let's see if we can catch the tensioner again. There we go. I'm going to start on 6 because it's under the tensioner. Yeah, I did. This tension method isn't perfect, but once you've sort of hooked something and set the pins around the tensioner, you're usually okay. If it does move, no big deal. You might think, well, it's not very secure, just leaving the keys to a house, locked to the house in a box that can be picked fairly easily, but frankly, this is, by the time you've picked it all the way open, probably harder than picking the house open would be, so it's really not the worst idea. There we go, we were going around and around getting nowhere, hit pin 5, sorry, that was pin 6, and bit of movement, and there we go. All right, once again, we've got to about 60 degrees and we're not there yet, so onwards. Oh, hang on. Oh, we got some movement. The door's starting to come away, but it's not quite enough. Need to keep on picking. That's going to be interesting with the door flopping around like that. Oh, I've got a little bit of movement there, which is a nice sign. It sort of seems to have a pattern where, ooh, getting all sorts of little movements now. It did seem to have a pattern where it was doing nothing, 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 and then one movement followed by another movement and open. So now we're back to doing nothing. Are we all the way open? Oh, well, there you go. I suppose it's hard to pick it any further when you've picked it completely open. So there we go. That one's open, and as you can see, little arrows pointed down. I can no longer, well, I can insert the key, I think. No, I can't even insert the key anymore. So I'm going to have to actually pick that back now so that I can use the key again with that one. Just showing you what's on the inside here. There's a little lever here that says lift, and if I pull that up, I can lift the shackle. So that would allow me to actually attach it to the house. Presumably, if you're allowed to have access to the door, then you're allowed to have access to the whole thing. I do actually have another of the same title there. So as you can see, the arrow on this one is pointed down in the middle, and the arrow on this one's pointed up, which is the way that it should be in order to be able to use the key. And of course, there's no way to get the key out with the stump down unless you picked it. So there's the Supra title. I will have a go at picking this one open. Obviously, it's going to take about the same amount of time. What the hell? I'll do that now. I'm also, the difference here is this is a Multac Corporation. This is a Supra. They're clearly the same damn box, so I don't know who made what. This one's got Risco Lockbox Corporation. Looks like a fairly generic cover other than Multac. This one does have Supra products actually stamped into the rubber coating. I suspect that Supra made these and Multac perhaps bought a few of them and decided to just rebrand them as Multac. This is what I would consider a Multac lockbox. They're considerably more complicated. They're made for different users. So everyone would have their own key, have their own code that they need to input. They need to be able to sort of input their user code, I think, up here as well. And at that point, then they can open the key depository down here. These are quite interesting. If you want to see more about these, check out Down Under Monkey's video about them. He's done a fairly extensive breakdown on the Multac. Very interesting. Anyway, that's enough rambling from me. This is already a pretty long video, but I'm going to pick this. This lock I've had for a while. I got it keyless, looked at it, went, oh, that's pretty cool, let's collect that. And never really put any thought into it. But then when I got these other ones with the key, I thought, well, okay, I can sort of see how that works now, and piqued my interest enough to have a pick of them. And now that we've picked them, I wouldn't mind opening this one up, considering I have two, there's a little bit of movement on the core. Considering I have the two key to like, there's our first position, two key to like doors, I may as well put one of my doors on my Multac branded box. Or perhaps I can cut this one open and investigate these locks a bit further, because unfortunately these doors are obviously pressed together or something like that. They are sealed units, so as much as I'd like to be able to gut these locks and show you what's going on inside them, not that I think that there's much spectacular happening there, it is always nice to be able to see what's actually happening inside the lock. There's two positions. This one seems perhaps a little bit more positive than the other. It doesn't quite, I shouldn't jinx myself by saying that, but it didn't quite require the same amount of ping-ponging. Perhaps got a little bit more progress from each setting attempt. There we go, that's open. Well, it should be open. The arrow is pointed all the way down. I can see that someone's tried to restore it with some paint. So there we go, that's quite tidy condition on the inside. And there's our keyless Multac picked open. Anyway, that was the Supra C title lockbox / Multac title. Thanks for watching.